Comic-Con is back, baby, and selling some pretty sweet merch to celebrate. Seriously, that is one nice t-shirt. Whoever designed that, high five. But while Comic-Con returns, the world of movie and TV announcements has changed dramatically. DC fandom, which was amazing, and then not amazing. And now it looks like they're not even doing it this year. That was short-lived. The first time was so good. Disney Investor Day, Disney Plus Day, Disney Investor Calls. Disney has so much news, they can support all those events, including Marvel's return to Comic-Con this year. Star Wars, of course, has Star Wars Celebration, although Lucasfilm will have a booth. I'll spotlight some of the booths. But both, by the way, are going to be at D23 in September, and they are making that a priority. In fact, I hear that while Marvel will be spotlighting already announced projects here at Comic-Con, they're saving new announcements for D23. Don't worry, they have enough for everybody. All right, but it's cool that Kevin Feige wants to preserve the legend that is Comic-Con, as this year's convention wasn't even a big deal until Feige announced at the Thor: Love and Thunder press conference that Marvel would be returning, leaving other studios scrambling to put together their own presentations to compete. Feige might be having some missteps lately, but he's still a boss. I do love the way the man handles himself, announcing his return to Comic-Con when it was way too late for the other studios to put together a competing presentation of substance. Hilarious! How Marvel's participation didn't leak is a mystery, as it seems everything leaks these days. I'm trying to filter it a bit more because I know that it kind of ruins the experience. I have to know because it's my job, but there's a lot out there. There's a lot out there, but I really do think that it ruins the experience. So I'm trying to be really careful. I do have a little bit of tea for you about kind of the things they're going to present at Comic-Con, what's expected. But anyway, once again, all the action is in Hall H. The Hall H, the iconic Hall H, the huge line. It has its own bathrooms and food because nobody ever wants to leave. You can spend all day there, and it's pretty awesome. The rest of the convention is great, though. But the schedule is a bit lighter this year. However, we're still guaranteed to have some pretty special headlines. Also, if you're attending Comic-Con in person, there are tons of great panels and experiences, but this video is about highlighting the panels that will get global attention. There are even some Hall H panels that I'm not going to cover because I don't think they're all winners, but if you'd like to sift through the whole schedule yourself, which they made extra difficult to do this year, the link is down below. Now, the convention floor will open Wednesday evening at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard, which means we might get some cool reveals from the big booths themselves. But remember, no Warner Brothers or even DC Comics booths this year, which is absolutely ridiculous. Not only is it a huge loss for WB from a promotion standpoint, but for fans, this really sucks because those have consistently been some of the best booths at the con. In fact, I would go so far as to say that Warner Brothers and DC were consistently the best booths, and now they don't even exist. What? But there could be some cool stuff on display at the Marvel booth. Marvel has a single mega booth for comics, film, and TV. And they usually kind of have some costumes and props on display, so that's pretty cool. It could be from previous projects, but it might be from some upcoming projects. Sometimes they'll wait to put it on the floor until the panel, but Marvel's panel isn't until Saturday, so we'll see what they decide to do. I know some of you are like, are they going to live stream the Comic-Con Hall H panel? Well, Marvel does have a live stream from the booth, which is just like generic news, but they could, but I would be surprised if, I don't think historically Comic-Con does not stream any of the big panels, particularly Hall H, because then why would anybody go? So we'll see. That's a rumor that's been going around that will be streamed, but I would be surprised if it was, because Comic-Con's pretty aggressive. Some people don't like Comic-Con management because they're super aggressive, but I can see where they're coming from on that point. Anyway, Lucasfilm, as I said, has a very big booth, so we could see something there. Disney Plus has a booth. Netflix has a booth, and Nickelodeon, although I checked, and no Avatar Studios presentation at Comic-Con this year. There might be a little something at the booth, but they're not doing any panels. All the Avatar panels are about the ongoing comics and previous stuff, something about a podcast, but nothing about the upcoming stuff that they're doing. And we also usually get some cool reveals from the toy booths, the toy and, statue booths. Those aren't toys. Thank you very much. But, there have been some cool reveals there in the past. All right, Thursday. Things really start to get going on Thursday. That's the first full day of the convention, but for Hall H, it's a bit of a light day. It kicks off at 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard with Paramount's Dungeons & Dragons movie, a star-studded affair which capitalizes on how popular D&D is right now, thanks to Stranger Things, Critical Role, and more. I'm shocked that Critical Role wasn't invited to participate in this movie in any way. I would have at least cast one of the actors, but Paramount decided to go with more traditional stars. The movie is scheduled to hit theaters March 3rd, so maybe we'll get a teaser trailer released to the public. They have promised some footage, but remember, a lot of footage at Comic-Con is for attendees only, so we'll see what's released to the public. We should at least get a poster. Paramount is also doing a D&D experience at Comic-Con where you can visit a real tavern outside the convention in the Gaslamp District. I love this stuff. Godzilla did one of my favorite things. It was so cool. And I've done the Walking Dead obstacle course, basically, too. Fun stuff. If you're doing the Comic-Con experience in person, you got to do this stuff. It's so cool. This will include a 20-minute immersive experience for guests that, of course, is ongoing, and a drink to compete with Butterbeer and LeFou's Brew, Dragon Brew, but since D&D is not a children's brand, there is an alcoholic version. These events at Comic-Con, as I said, are fantastic. They're a staple. They really go the extra mile. And this D&D Tavern is already booked solid with advanced reservations. But don't let that deter you. See what the standby line looks like if you're going to be at Comic-Con in person, because that sounds like a really cool event. They have a non-alcoholic version as well, so everybody can partake in Dragon Brew. I'm curious. I keep buying Butterbeer every time I go, even though I think it tastes awful. I'm like, I want the cup. I want to have a good time. All right, it's just liquid candy, man. Also on Thursday, Kevin Smith is not giving up on Masters of the Universe, as at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard, he has a whole panel highlighting the brand's past, present, and future. Does it have a future? I gotta admire the persistence. Friday, this is a bit better. We got a lot more going on Friday, but Saturday's the big day. All right, so the day starts off at 10:30 a.m. Pacific, 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard with Prime Video's The Lord of the Rings presentation. They beat House of the Dragon to Hall H by a day, but House of the Dragon will air first. These two are going head to head. I wonder if this show will be like the Wheel of Time, though, like crazy good viewership numbers, but nobody talks about it. Because nobody's talking about this show. They've released 2 teasers so far, so expect a main trailer here. Then The Walking Dead has back-to-back panels starting at 1:30 p.m. Pacific, 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard. The first introducing new spin-off show, Tales of the Walking Dead. AMC ain't gonna let this die, right? It will be a zombie forever. And they've already announced they will debut a trailer here. And then the OG show will preview the final episodes. They're not going to show them, but they will, show some clips from the final episodes of this iconic zombie series. Walking Dead has lost a lot of momentum. It really has. It's really just a shell of its former self. But it's one of the brands that helped build Comic-Con into what it is today, that really helped supercharge it. So put some respect on The Walking Dead's name, even though, as I said, they are basically at this point The Walking Dead. All right, I don't know how respectful that was, but I said it was the OG. All right, so Saturday, and here we go. Oh boy! Thank goodness for natural showman Dwayne Johnson, as he's helped Warner Brothers throw together a last-minute theatrical panel at 10:15 a.m. Pacific, 1:15 p.m. Eastern Standard, spotlighting, what else? His own movies, Black Adam and Shazam 2, both of which are produced by Johnson and his production company. Will we get a new Black Adam trailer? I think that's very possible. A Shazam 2 teaser, both movies released this year, and The Rock knows he's got to cook up something for you. That should be a good panel. I think Black Adam could actually end up performing quite well. One of my non-comic book friends saw the trailer in front of Jurassic Park or Jurassic World Dominion and was like, that looks pretty darn good. And I was like, really? Because she's like totally superheroed out. She was like, that looks good. And I was like, interesting. All right, next at 11:30 a.m. Pacific, 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, HBO will try to win back Game of Thrones fans with a sneak peek at House of the Dragon. It better have a lot of dragons in it. It's the only reason to go back to the age of the Targaryens, for dragons aplenty, and Matt Smith. Again, we've only had teasers for this show, so we'll likely get a full trailer here. And Star Trek fans at 12:45 p.m. Pacific, 3:45 p.m. Eastern Standard, All of Paramount Plus's successful Star Trek shows will be highlighted, with reveals and surprises promised. You know, they're very difficult about allowing people to cover those shows, which is why nobody ever talks about them on social media, but they are popular, so I think a lot of you will definitely be interested in that panel. Then at 2:30 p.m. Pacific, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard, I know the Marvel panel's late, but Netflix gets in the mix with the Sandman, which debuts August 5th, so it's like right around the corner from Comic-Con. We've actually not had a full trailer for this show either, so expect it here with the show just 2 weeks away from this panel. And finally, the main event, Marvel Studios, with that sweet final spot. Well, I think there's a little something after it, but this is the one. This is going to be like the mic drop. So 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So late. My coverage will probably spill into Sunday, and I'll probably do movie math on Monday. Maybe I can get movie math in on the same day, but you know, I want to give the Comic-Con coverage some room to breathe as well. But anyway, Black Panther 2 will be the crown jewel of this presentation, with a teaser trailer almost for sure. I'm hearing She-Hulk, Loki Season 2, and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 will most likely be the other content spotlighted, with again brand new announcements being saved for D23, which is right around the corner as well, in early September. But come on, clearly Marvel has the goods to support both events, as that is a pretty sweet lineup for Comic-Con. I'm very excited to finally be able to discuss Black Panther 2 with you. I think it's going to be pretty sensational. So, and then Sunday is Kids Day, so that basically wraps up Comic-Con 2022. How's it sound to you? What panels will you be paying attention to, and what do you hope to see? Share those thoughts down below, subscribe today, and of course, as always, you can check out some more videos right now.